Good morning, Mr. President and members. First, I want to preface my comments to say how much I appreciate the author for her always standing up for women's rights, equal pay, ensuring that women are protected in the workplace, and I appreciate all of her strong efforts. You know, sexual harassment is not a new issue in the Capitol. It's been going on for many years before many of us were even here. And we had a colleague in the Assembly that made it very clear that it was a real issue that needed to be addressed through legislation. That bill was authored by Assemblywoman Melissa Melendez. And that bill fell on deaf ears in this institution for years because this institution wanted to make sexual harassment a partisan issue until we had 3 Democrat legislators that had to resign in shame for sexual harassment issues in the Capitol. And then, of course, we witnessed all the Me Too movements, appropriate Me Too movements that we've seen in the private sector with the Harvey Weinsteins, the Bill Cosbys of the world. And what does this institution do well? Is we do well with knee-jerk reactions to try to solve problems that sometimes go a bit too far. I appreciate that the Senate took up Melissa Melendez's bill when all these perpetrators of sexual assault were being looked at, and this body passed that bill expeditiously in the best interest of protecting our employees that have been intimidated about coming forward and sharing their horrific experiences for fear of retaliation and getting fired. That takes us to today with SB 1300. And today I must rise in opposition to SB 1300 as this bill will radically lower the legal standing, the current legal standing required for the Fair Employment and Housing Act's claims. This bill will allow anyone to sue a business for harassment claims, even if they were not actually harmed, which will thereby significantly increase litigation against California employers and limit their availability to invest in their workplace or expand and create new jobs. Just look at the American tort reform that calls California the judicial hellhole of the country. As I mentioned yesterday, California businesses are leaving the state in droves. We have to spend expensive incentives like the one we just did to keep the motion picture industry here because of the employment practices of this state that's driven them out. 10,000 have gone between 2008 and 2015. And it's legislation like this that is causing those businesses to leave, or worse, shut down, and more businesses to throw the towel in. I only wish that I could share with the legislature the numerous Facebook posts that I see telling me that they're packing up, they're moving out of California, they're moving their businesses, they're moving their families, or the Facebook post that said we did it 3 years ago and it was the best thing that we ever did. SB 1300, who does it really benefit? Well, once again, it's the attorneys who will benefit by having more incentives to make an easy buck with a much lower standard to prove wrongdoing. Sadly, even in some cases where wrongdoing has not even occurred. We all know that businesses will just pay money if it's cheap enough to get out of a prolonged litigation situation. Look at the opposition to this bill. Probably most chambers of commerce in the state of California, probably many in all of your districts. But there is a common denominator on this floor. We all want a safe environment, a harassment-free workplace for both women and for men. But this legislation, I believe, goes too far and is not the answer. We need to work closer and ensure that we have the right tools to ensure that anybody that posts pictures like the author has suggested has been posted, it is perpetrators like that that need to be held accountable. But we need to eliminate gray areas of the law. In a very skittish economy with a very skittish business community that is saying, when is enough enough? Again, I regretfully urge a no vote on SB 1300.